Hello everyone, Beate here and welcome back to my channel. As some of you might already know, at the end of last year I moved from South Africa to the United States and to Texas specifically. So this is my new hometown. I live in Austin. Now of course this is not a travel channel, and this is a channel dedicated to personal style and developing your own specific personal style. And I find it so beautiful if you can incorporate pieces of where you travel to or where you've lived into your personal style and carry that onto the next place where you're going to live or the next chapter of your life even. It really forms something so beautiful, and it's almost like a story that you are wearing, and it makes dressing so special, and yeah, it makes it so rich and so extremely full of culture, and I just love it. And if you have that opportunity to do so, I really encourage you to do that. So since moving here, I was thinking, how can I incorporate something about the city or something about Texas into my personal style? And the first thing that came to mind were cowboy boots. And I can't commit to it yet. I definitely want to, and I've tried on numerous pairs already, and it is something that I'm very excited about. And I actually own a pair of shorter cowboy boots or western-like boots, but they are currently in my container that needs to be shipped from Africa to the United States. So I don't have them on hand, and I can't buy western boots just yet. But then walking down South Congress, which is a beautiful shopping street within Austin, I noticed a beautiful shop. And inside this shop, they created a custom experience of making your own hats, specifically with the Stetson brand. If you don't know Stetson, I really encourage you to go read up about them. They are a beautiful company. They created the very first western hat, or the cowboy hat as most of us know it. And this shop in South Congress Avenue gives you a experience that is customized to you. And that is how I decided that I have to buy a cowboy hat or a western hat. And it is such a cool experience. If you walk in, you have the option of buying something that is already pre-formed or pre-made, and then just measuring your head and adding accessories. Or you can go for a completely custom experience where you buy a hat that has almost no shape to it, except obviously space for your actual head, and then a big rim, but you can customize it in whatever way you'd like. And that is the option that I went for. Stetson's got a variety of different hats, and the content, in other words, the composition of the actual materials in the hat will depend on what your needs are and where you're going to wear it, what season it is, for example, so how much heat you want, or if you want it to be completely breathable, for example. But in this case, I chose a hat that is mostly going to be worn in the winter. And the first thing that I think you need to consider is your own personal coloring. I have a cool undertone and was immediately drawn to the navy hat. There were beautiful brown options, they were very, very tempting. But I took a few photos of myself, or asked my husband to take them at least, of the hats right next to my face to see whether it makes my eyes and my skin pop the way I wanted to. I also had a look at my own personal color palette that I have saved on my phone, and really tried to make the best decision. And I chose a navy hat, and I am very happy with that. So it comes in this standard shape, but the first thing you want to do after you've selected your the hat type and the color that you want is the size. And the size is going to depend on the size of your actual head. You can do that by measuring your head, and they can do that for you, or simply by trying it on in store. When trying on the different sizes, you want something that sits rather snug. And it is gonna maybe feel a slight bit uncomfortable or a slight bit weird, but it's gonna conform to your head, and the heat of your head is gonna help shape that hat specifically to you. So it becomes your hat. No one else will probably be able to wear that hat as comfortably as you would. You also have to consider the activities that you'll be doing when wearing this hat. Obviously, if you are a real cowboy, you want this hat to be really tight around your head, or if you want to go horse riding for it, with it, for example, again, it needs to sit really nice and tight because you're going to experience quite a bit of wind during those activities, and the wind will blow off the hat from your head if it's not tight enough. Now, I don't want it to sit too tight because I am not going to wear it out. I'm not a cowboy and I'm not going to wear it out like that. I'm definitely just going to wear it to look pretty and to feel cool. So when I take it off, I don't necessarily want like almost a rim being edged into my skin of my head. So I didn't go as tight as a cowboy would, for example, but that is something to consider, and they will guide you as to what size to select. They also showed me that I've been wearing my hats wrong. Not that I have many of them, but they are supposed to sit like right here on your forehead, and I always wore them slightly higher, and they need to sit like right over here on your head. So you want to make sure that the size is correct for that correct position on your head. It's amazing what you can do with the hat in terms of shape. They have a variety of different hats to show you different options and styles that you can create with your hat. So they ask you a few questions to understand what you like and what you would prefer. And by trying them on, you get an idea of also what looks good on you, what looks good for your face, and they do offer quite a bit of guidance if you wanted that. On to the next thing, the cattleman's crease. That is going to be the shape on the hat on top of your head. And you can show them what you like and they can form that to your liking. Onto the rim. You can decide what size you want your rim. And of course, you can cut that down. But the very important thing to note is, once it's been cut, you can't paste it back together, right? So rather go little by little instead of making a big difference from the get-go. You can even take it in again after you've shaped it to them, and they can cut it down a little bit more, they've said. But I'm very happy with mine, and I showed them what I like by pointing out some of the examples that I've tried on and told them I want something similar to that. Following that is going to be the shape of the rim. So that is going to determine how Western it's actually going to look. So if you have the sides going up completely to the sides, it's going to make it look even more Western. And I didn't want something that is too Western, right? Because that is not necessarily my own personal style. And even though I want to inject something from Texas into my style, I don't want to go too extreme because then I know I'm not going to make use of it. So this is something again that's very personal to you, and I didn't want a completely Western hat. I wanted something that's ever so slightly lifted on the sides. I noticed another detail on one of the hat examples, and I didn't know the name thereof, so they told me it's called a pencil curl. But where the sides are slightly lifted, it almost looks like a pencil was inserted around the rim of the hat. It's called a pencil curl, and I really like that just to break that sharpness of the edge of the hat, and it really like softens the hat a wee bit, and I really enjoyed that. The one thing they told me is that once you have the pencil curl, it's very difficult to get it out. So the hat is quite moldable, but once you have the pencil curl, it's going to be quite difficult getting rid of it. So if I do that, and I want to get rid of it, I'll have to trim down the hat a little bit more. So in other words, make the rim smaller. So you have to be very sure before doing a pencil rim. During this whole process, they use this steamer to actually warm up the hat and allow the artist to create, mold, and fold the hat into the shape that you wanted. And it is an absolutely amazing experience, and They have beautiful music playing, there's coffee served, they have a coffee bar inside of the hat shop. So I can't insert too much of the background noise because YouTube probably won't allow me to do that. But if you are ever in Austin, you definitely have to go in and experience it. It is absolutely amazing. Even if you don't make a hat, just go have a coffee there and have a look around. And then lastly, you can decide whether you want to accessorize your hat and how you want to do that. They have multiple options of this, different colors, textures, different elements that you can use, and you can even decide on something, and if you want to restyle it at a later point, you can definitely do so. And I chose something quite simple, and I'm very happy with the choice that I made.
Yeah, I like that, but I feel like something slightly more cool toned.
Okay.
So
is there anything here that pops?
Maybe something like this.
The charcoal? Something to hold the flowers in.
Oh, I see. Let me see that color on the hat. For accessories?
Accoutrement.
Say that word again?
Accoutrement.
Accoutrement.
I'm not wearing the hat in the video today because it's going to create quite a bit of shadow on my face and you probably won't be able to see me because I don't work with professional lighting but natural light. But this is my beautiful hat. Throughout the video you probably would have noticed that I touched the rim of the hat quite a bit of the hats that I tried on, and at the end they give you a quick overview of how to take care of your hat, and you shouldn't be touching the rim. If you put the hat on, you can touch your cattleman's crease, and then I like to brush my hair back a wee bit and place it on top of your head. And if I flick it up, it's not going to easily fall off my head, right? With wind or whatever it is. So taking care of this hat, the most important thing is to actually not have anything lying on top of it. So I have my hat hanging in my closet with a small nail on my wall, so I constantly see it. It's part of almost a decoration in my closet now, and if you see it, you're definitely going to wear it more. So keeping it in the hat box is definitely not what I'm doing, but that is an option you can if you want to protect the structural integrity of the hat. The reason why you shouldn't touch the rim is because the oils from your hand will transfer to the hat and cause it maybe discoloration. You can also cause it to misform because again the heat of your hands will shape the hat almost the way the steam did. The oils will be absorbed by the hat and it's just gonna make your hat dirty and probably not last as long as it can. And this is something that can last a lifetime if you take care of it. Taking care of your hat, they recommend a brush, and if you don't have a brush, a lint roller, but I already have this brush. I use it on my blazers instead of a lint roller. It's definitely less wasteful, and I also sometimes use it on my upholstered goods such as my couch and my chairs and so on. You can use this brush to brush the dust off of your hat. If not, you can use a lint roller. And then the website also specified that if you ever get a stain on it, you have to allow the stain to dry, and you can use sandpaper to sand it down. But I must say I've not done that, and if I ever get a stain on this, I will definitely take it in and ask their advice. Even though the website already said that, just to be safe, that's what I'll definitely do. But I don't plan on getting any stains on my hat. Making a hat like this takes about 25 minutes to an hour. You're going to start off with the size, the color, then the crown, and then the brim. So this is my beautiful Stetson hat, and I am definitely going to be wearing it in and around Texas, and my very first Western piece that I own, and it's making me very excited and happy and to be a Texan now and live here. And anyway, I think that's enough. If you've enjoyed this video, please do give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing. This is not what my usual videos look like. I have a variety of other style videos, but this is just something special. And maybe this custom experience can also be a good series. It won't be as frequent as the rest of my videos, but I can include a custom experience in the future. Thank you so much for watching and have a good one. Bye!